You're listening to Radio Mayapur with the best devotional, meditation, kirtan music, and inspirational podcast. This is Radio Mayapur.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon to everyone. This is Radio Mayapur, the link to your heart. We are in Holy Dham, Sri Dham Mayapur, the center of the universe, spiritual capital of the world. Today is a very beautiful day. There's nice sunshine. The cold is going less and less. It's becoming warmer during the day. It's still cool in the night, so you can sleep with a blanket. Usually you sleep under the fan because it's very, very hot. Today we are very fortunate to have with us Jaya Krsna, and he was born in Kenya. He's 60 years old, but he joined in the UK. I know him for a long time. He's a very close friend of mine, and we did some drama together. We had a lot of fun. And now he's visiting Mayapur, so I thought, why not interview these wonderful devotees and do a podcast with him. Welcome, Jaya Krsna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, so nice. Also, we should know that Jaya Krsna Prabhu is involved. He was involved, I don't know now.
Still going
strong. With the Bhaktivedanta Players in a drama. And the famous UK temple donated by George Harrison, it's called the
Bhaktivedanta Manor.
Bhaktivedanta Manor, which is in a beautiful location outside of London. How far is from London, actually?
It's about 10 miles or something.
Okay, not so bad. I've been there many times, but I don't remember how long it takes from the city to go to...
Yeah, this not so easy accessible. Public transport takes you to about 2 miles away, then you just catch a cab or something like that.
Right. I went always with a friend with cars, and somebody dropped me in, and we had a wonderful time. I think one time I spent 3 months in the manor, and I was cooking every morning breakfast, because after 3 days, breakfast was only apple tea and what was the porridge. And I said, you eat this every day? They said, yes, this is England. I said, can I make a breakfast for you? I'm from Italy. They said, yeah, we'll love it. And then we make some focaccia, calzone.
Nice.
And the devotee really enjoy. I even trained somebody to do it. I don't know if you're still doing, but anyway. So Jaya Krsna Prabhu, tell us a little bit about your background. You were very, very young. And tell us a bit about your family, father, mother, children, brother, sister. Where did you grow? Because you are from Kenya.
That's
so
right.
Kenya is in Africa.
Yeah. So what happened basically in the 50s, a lot of the British, they were shipping or inviting people from India to their colonies to do some work, railway work. And then my father took this opportunity and he went to Kenya in a small town called Kutus. And there he was a businessman, merchant, and he had 2 cloth shops.
Wow.
So then we grew up over there for a little while. We are 12 children altogether.
Wow.
And
a lot of people.
7 of them are initiated.
Nice.
Within ISKCON. Nice. And many of them had association with Srila Prabhupada.
Joy.
One of them was like a hairbreadth away from taking initiation, but then he got cold feet. And then we lived there for a little while, and then Africa is always a bit of a political turmoil. So then my father thought, okay, things are not going so well. Then we decided in 68, 69 to move. Then we came to India. My parents are originally from Gujarat.
Oh, okay.
The biggest migration of Indians, at least in the 50s, 60s, and the 70s, were the Gujaratis. They're the business type of people. They know how to make good taka, how to make good money.
Yeah.
So then we went back to Gujarat. The kids didn't settle down there so well. So then the father brought us all to London. London was an austere place. The day I arrived, when the plane door opened, it was snowing. My first experience of snow. I was a bit shocked and excited as well. And then we went to my uncle's house. So there was 12 of us, plus a mom and dad, and their family all in a 3-bedroom house. So we were living Indian style.
Intense.
So we were living like that for a good few months until we got our own place. And then, obviously, living in a foreign place, not always easy. Your cultural identity, you don't know, your spiritual identity. And then there was one area which was a promotely Indian area called Southall. My brother was over there. Maybe he was missing India. And then one devotee, I even remember his name was Christos.
Christos.
Yeah.
Wow.
From France. And then he approached my brother, then gave him a back to Godhead, an invitation to 7 Bari Place for the Sunday feast. Everyone remembers the famous Sunday feast, especially in the 70s. They were a knockout.
Lots of prashadam, kirtan, and nice.
Then he was going then. Obviously, he was very attracted. The devotees were so kind. They were very, very welcoming. And then I was very, very young at that time. And I went a couple of times with my brother to Bari Place. But then we found that Bhaktivedanta Manor opened in 73. And then we started going over there. So we only had one car. Obviously, we had a lot of people in our family, so there wasn't always room for everyone in the car. And I was the lowest in the rank. I was one of the young ones. I didn't get it, so I used to cycle it the 7 miles because
Amazing.
we loved it so much. The devotees were so nice, so kind. I remember one day just turning up and just deciding I wanted to stay there. I was only about 12, 13. I didn't come with any clothes or anything, and the devotees, they just housed me nicely. He gave me his own sleeping bag, and he just slept bare. And I don't know, it was this kindness that kind of really attracted me. And my first service was gardening. So we were doing gardening. So then me and my brothers would cycle or catch a train nearby or bus and then walk the rest. And then we were doing gardening and things like that. And of course, I don't know if you remember, the 4 o'clock Maha was really, really special. In those days, cakes and things were not so easily accessible. Here in Mayapur, every corner you take this cakes, Mahaprasadam. So in those days, cakes and those nice sweet things were very, very rare. So we used to cycle it all the way 7 miles just to get some of that Maha, you know. If you came too late, boom, it was gone, you know. And there was one devotee, his name was Jagadija. He was a really nice Mangalati sweet maker.
Wow.
Ooh, those sweets were really, really...
Sandesh and all this.
Rasgullas and
Rasmalai,
barfis.
barfis.
So many famous stories of devotees stealing. So I was about 12, 13, I was going, and the local devotees there, Bhumadev, Shripati, they ran a little kind of a drama troupe over there. It was called CHIT. CHIT stands for Chaitanya's Instant Theatre.
Wow.
So the British were famous or are famous for their kind of dramas. In fact, when Mukunda Maharaj was coming to England, he asked Srila Prabhupada, is there any specific instructions you like to help us that can, help us in England? And Prabhupada said, the British, they like their dramas. If you do nice dramas, you can conquer England with drama.
Amazing. Amazing.
So that was a nice instruction Srila Prabhupada gave to Mukunda Goswami. And then the devotees spontaneously formed this, and then I used to help them. I was a little monkey. And I remember my first kind of experience. I was a little monkey. I was quite small at that time, a little bit chubby now. But I was quite light. So then they had this scene with Kumbhakana. So the idea was that I would run up to Kumbhakana. That was done in Jaya Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's senior disciple. He was very big, over 6 foot, and I was a little pipsqueak. And the idea was that he would pick me up and then throw me off stage.
Wow.
And somebody was supposed to catch me. In rehearsals, it worked. But when we did the actual play, the devotee was supposed to catch me. He was just talking. Oh, and then I just went flying. Woo! Crashed on the side. But I bounced back up. So there was many, many nice, wonderful memories. And we would go traveling all over in Bradford, in Wembley, in Birmingham doing dramas. And the devotees somehow or another attracted me. In Krishna consciousness, there's different ways people come to Krishna consciousness. One, if you're suffering, then somehow or another you get attracted to the philosophy, then they come. Some people are gobsmacked by the prasadam. They've never tasted anything like it. There was one devotee, he was explaining, he was a hippie. He came to the manor, he just heard about the Hare Krishnas and he tasted some date halava for the first time. It blew his taste bud. And he never ever left the temple. He joined straight away. So some people attracted by that, some people attracted by the philosophy. Prasadam wasn't my thing because my mom was a very, very good cook.
Being good,
And she affectionately was known as Ma Patel. Devotees, the sannyasis, they would all come and eat at my mother's place. So there's different ways people come to Krishna consciousness, but for me it was the devotees. The devotees kind of made it for me. They were so kind, they were so loving, especially when I was kind of growing up, because in the schools there was a lot of bullying going on.
Right.
There was a bit of racism. So
because you are Indian body, so then the white people, they kind of harass you, or they consider you less.
Yeah. So then I couldn't understand why the people in the school were giving me a hard time, but the white devotees were being so kind. So I said, I would like to be like that. So then my brother joined, and my parents weren't so happy. So he joined in 78. And then I joined.
Why your parents weren't so happy?
That's a good question, because in Indian culture, generally, bhakti is only done Torah.
A little bit.
We know that even Srila Prabhupada asked many Indian families, you have many children, you please give me one, and I'll make them into a first-class Vaishnavas, and no one offered. So Indians, they like their kind of Indian identity, but they don't like it too much. A little bit, Torah. So then when my brother joined, because there was quite a few other brothers, then they accepted it. Then the next year, then I joined. And then, of course, my father was very, very upset about it. Anyway, and then the following year, my third brother joined, and that was it. My father had enough. So then when he came there, he called the police to take him away. Anyway, so then I stayed there. And as I was mentioning, on the weekends, I would just come and stay. Then one day, we were staying at the manor, and then we got news that Srila Prabhupada is coming.
Wow.
And we were so happy.
Which year it was?
This was 1977.
77.
But even before that, we would go see Prabhupada in 76, 75, because the devotees were so kind. Rajendra Kumar Swami, Mukunda Goswami, they would just bring a van, and they knew that if we just bring the Patel family, that would fill half the temple room. So then the devotees would come and drive us. Of course, I was a little bit of a pep squeak, so I would just go and play and just, because I was only 11, 12, Only when I started getting a bit older, then I began to realize then this was in 77. So we were so excited. And then I remember this moment when Srila Prabhupada came in the courtyard over there. It was little, England is famous for its little rain or drizzle. Then the car, there was hundreds of devotees, and they came from all over Europe, all over England, literally hundreds of them. And then they all offered obeisance to Prabhupada. It was a big kirtan, and they brought Prabhupada inside, and he greeted Radha Gokulananda. Then he went in the back of the Vyasasana, he sat over there, and then stayed there for a little while. And then as we were going upstairs, Krishna Maharaj, he made an announcement that Srila Prabhupada is going upstairs, and we are noticing that people are touching Prabhupada's feet. We don't want anyone to touch Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. He's not well or anything like that. So then I was just next to Prabhupada going by the palanquin. Then I saw Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. Then Krishna Maharaj's instruction was going in my head, don't touch his feet. Then I'm thinking, at this time I realized that Srila Prabhupada is the most incredible person, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get this opportunity. I was only about 13. Then with both of my hands, I touched Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet.
Wow.
And it was the most amazing experience. And it was such a far-out experience that I decided to go for second helpings. Then I ran quickly, and I was trying to touch for the second time. Then I heard a big thud right on my chest, and I was like looking at some stars and birds going, cuckoo. Guru Kripa, he kind of like
Guru Kripa
gave one to me. I told him the story later on, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We were so heavy in those days, Anyway, it didn't bother me, Then we went upstairs. Prabhupada gave some nice darshan. Prabhupada wasn't feeling so well. And then Prabhupada's first question was, are the devotees getting nice prasadam? So even though his health wasn't so well, his first concern was, are the devotees getting nice prasadam? Then he talked a little bit. And then Jaya Tirtha was the GBC in charge. And he says, your name is Jaya Tirtha. You've made Bhaktivedanta Manor Tirtha, so I've come to take shelter of you. It was such a nice saying. And then Prabhupada was given, you can see it on the video, Prabhupada was given this plate of different fruits. And then Prabhupada just went straight for the mango. And he just took a mango and he took some and then he put it on the plate. And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked everyone to leave. So this one devotee's name was Bhagavad Bhakta. He was a very tall devotee.
Bhakta what?
Bhagavad Bhakta.
Bhagavad Bhakta.
Bhagavad Bhakta.
Bhagavad.
Bhakta.
Bhagavad. Yeah, he was
like
very
Bhagavad
big.
Prasadam.
Yeah.
Not that Bhagavad.
Not that.
Not
the American one.
No.
Somebody else.
Yeah. Anyway, so he was given the plate of the Mahaprasadam and he held it tight so no one could get it. Then he grabbed me by the neck because I knew him. He was the gardener, and he pulled me downstairs and he lowered the plate and I was there, and he took Prabhupada's mango, the one he ate, and he put it right in my hand.
Ooh, amazing.
So, such mercy. So I had some Prabhupada's lotus feet, then I had Prabhupada's mango, and it doesn't even end there. And then a few days later was Balaram's appearance day. Then we were all sitting in the courtyard and everyone was eating the Balaram feast. And of course, it's one thing you do is you never disturb a devotee in his prasadam time. It's just totally fixed. Eka Kuru Nandana. So everyone was eating, and those days the feast were phenomenal.
Amazing.
Phenomenal feast. And then one devotee came and he had Prabhupada's plate. And then I just happened to be the right place, right situation. And then because everyone was so absorbed in the prasadam, no one noticed the servant. And then one devotee went and he asked the question, what did Prabhupada eat? And then said, Prabhupada ate this, and he gave it to that devotee. I was just a young kid and I just said, oh, what did Prabhupada eat? I followed what he said. And he gave me a rolled pancake in honey. He said, Prabhupada ate this pancake. And he gave me that. So I had Balaram's rolled honey pancake that Prabhupada ate.
What mercy.
And then a few days later, they were clearing Srila Prabhupada's rooms and they were getting some of these old clothes. And then another devotee, he was very kind to me somehow or another, and gave me Prabhupada's own bead bag. So somehow or another, within 5-6 days, I was getting boom, 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 left, right, and center, Srila Prabhupada's mercy.
You got surcharged with this Prabhupada blessing and mercy. Amazing.
So then I joined the temple, and then even before that, we used to go and do Sankirtan every Saturday, every Sunday. We used to go Sankirtan.
You go to London?
You go to London, all the Wembleys, Indian areas, knocking door to door. And then we go to Leicester, Birmingham. And then when I joined, then that was my full-time service. So there was about 10 of us. So some of you might remember Shruti Dham Prabhu, a great devotee from, and then Atmani Veda Maharaj, and Godruma Prabhu, Dwarkapuri Prabhu. There was a core of about 10, 12 devotees who would just go traveling. And I was the temple, the Sankirtan cook. So I never cooked in my life. So that's Sankirtan devotee said, you go and watch one DT offering. I was just observing, and he says, "That's it. Now you're
the cook.
yeah." So then we went traveling, and we would do book distribution, harinams, and all sorts of spiritual activities. And because we are all young devotees, the temple were a little bit worried about the parents coming and nicking us, because in the past, Indian devotees came, and the parents, they brought like a mob of 20, 30 people trying to reclaim their kid back. So then they just decided to ship us away for a little while. It was good. It was very, very fun. It was very, very austere. But there was a nice, strong brotherhood we had, and we have such a nice relationship. And then later on, I don't know if you know from actually, we bought a big juggernaut, and they converted that into like a traveling temple for about 10, 15 people to live in there, with a kitchen, shower facility. Interestingly enough, it ended up in Italy. I'm not sure what's happened to it. But then with this, we would go do Sankirtan, and devotees would then, it would open the sides up, and people can come, and then the side would turn into a platform, and you do dramas, lectures, and kirtans, and then you pack up, you go to another town, do Harinam distribution, leaflets, and in the weekends we would have these festivals, and this is how we... And then we did that for many, many years. Then afterwards, I became a pujari because I became a bit of a cook. So then they needed some cooks. So then I came back and started cooking and doing pujari service. And then I became a full-time pujari. And then at the same time...
In the traveling Sankirtan party? Or in the temple?
I was a full-time cook there, but I did the cooking, but then also did Sankirtan.
Right.
But then at Bhaktivedanta Manor, then I became a full-time because...
Pujari.
Yeah, there was some kind of, obviously everyone knows the history. So, they lost a lot of manpower.
Yes.
Because of some senior devout person leaving.
Yes.
And then we had to kind of go back and help fill some of the cracks that were there. Then I became a pujari. It was a very intense. We would have to get up and dress do our service from 4 till about 9, and then again from about 4 to about 10, and then cook as well.
In between, chant your round, do everything you do.
And then I was also running the drama department as well. Wow. So I ran the drama department. So there was a few devotees. So we used to do the dramas on traveling Sankirtan, and then... the theater, there were some other devotees, as I mentioned, Bhaktivedanta Players by the Prabhupada disciples. Then another group came over, the Vaikuntha Players.
Oh, the Vaikuntha Players, famous.
Yeah, very, very famous, amazing players. Lohitaksha, Rasagya, what's his name? Loka Mangala. Amazing actors. So then they were invited to come to England to try and, have the theater. So then I worked with them for a little while. But eventually they left because, they were missing America or whatever.
Well, you have to see, say, also the weather-wise, England is quite difficult to live there because there is always this drizzle, rain. You don't know to take the umbrella, the raincoat. Even if you take them, you get wet. And it's always cold and rarely you see the sun. So it's...
England is famous for knowing that you have 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah, some little sun come out, everybody's happy, then boom, rain come, the wind, this, that.
So in 1984, 85, then the responsibility of drama, Bhaktivedanta Players, was given to me and my friend Dwarka Puri. So then we had to produce plays for Janmashtami, Ramnavami, Gopunim, Diwali time. So then that was our service, obviously with the other service as well. Then over the period of time, we became quite popular. Then we came to Mayapur, Sridham Mayapur Ki Jai. And my God, it was such a wonderful experience we had. When you do plays for the guests, they like it, they appreciate it. But I'm telling you from the core of my heart, when you do the plays for the devotees,
it's different ball game.
It's like waves of ecstasy. Level. They understand everything. They understand the pastime. And my God, you can see them so happy. And I remember when we did this place, it was always so full, so busy. And then Panchanjangri Prabhu was so happy. He was so happy with the place because he could relate, and he came to me, gave me a big hug, and he gave me a Radha Madhava silver goblet.
Whoa.
He said, "This is for your service," So I still have that on my altar. Nice gift given to me. So the twins would always have 2 seats over there, sitting over there. Yeah. And then we came about 3 or 4 times, and we've traveled to New York about 12 times. We traveled to Africa, East Africa. We're planning to go to East Africa in September, do some dramas and programs. There's another amazing, wonderful devotee called His Grace Tribhuvanath Prabhu.
Tribhuvanath, yes.
Amazing proper disciple. And his service was festival program. So we had a very nice transcendental relationship because he knew I was running the drama department. So he was always nice to me because he wanted the dramas for his festivals. We traveled all over the place doing festivals with him in Croatia. And then we went to, it was known as Czechoslovakia. We went traveling everywhere. Indra Dumina Maharaj took us around traveling. Bhakti Churu Maharaj took us traveling South Africa, everywhere. So yeah, those were the
How many people you were in the troupe?
So at the heydays, we had about 15 good devotees, solid crew.
Yeah, because I remember when you came to Mayapur, you were around 10, 12.
Yeah. And then, we traveled around. Then, nothing stays the same forever. Change always takes place. Then actors got married, they had kids, they moved away. But somehow or another, there's been a steady core of just me and Dwoka and this one devotee, Radha Mohan. And then between us, we just been going, plodding it. Got to go back into the Gopanim play. This year is the 50th anniversary of Radha Gokulananda. Wow. So we're going to do the whole
big festival.
Leela of Bhaktisiddhanta sending his disciples, and then how his Prabhupada and his disciples and the whole George Harrison meeting with Chamashunda, the whole Leela, we're doing that until the installation.
That is a long drama. It would take 1 hour or something.
So yeah, we've condensed it all in 1 hour.
That's nice.
Yeah, right from Bhaktisiddhanta giving that speech he gave, when he's sending his disciples over. You have to be like Hanuman,
Yes,
take
in the
mission.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you whether, if of all these drama you've done in your life, many of them, hundreds of them, if somebody want to see them, can they find them in YouTube or any other platform?
So there's some few limited kind of places you can see them. They're on YouTube. If you just type in Bhaktivedanta Players, then about 15 of them come. Okay. They're not the most professional because some people here and there.
Yeah.
But they give you a good gist. There's some really, really nice Ajamil, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Bhishek Shaina. Then there's Ramayan. There's so many there. There's a story of Abhimanyu, Sakshi Gopal. It's about 15. There's a nice comedy one called Taxi Tattva. This American comes to India in his first experience. It's really fun. Yeah.
No, it's nice for our audience to know because sometimes you want to show it to the children or to your friend. That's a nice way to introduce Krishna Consciousness so they can search on YouTube and find some of this wonderful drama. Even though they are not, I would say, maybe recorded professionally with many cameras. At the time, there was only somebody with a small dinky camera. But still, they're very nice.
One thing I remember is that our plays, even though we're not professionally trained, some people who are interested in Krishna consciousness, they're professional actors who work in West End. And when they come and see the plays, they say your plays are so much more better than
professional
half of the stuff that goes. It's just that we don't have the finance or the backing or anything like that. And they just absolutely love the plays,
I think it's because the devotee, they put their heart and they know the story and they know they're doing for the pleasure of Krishna and the Vaishnava. So then it's a kind of communication which goes directly from the heart. It's not just being an actor, it's like expressing yourself into that platform of service and love for the devotees, and Krishna appreciate.
Yeah, that's right. When Prabhupada spoke with the Vaikuntha Players, he said that when you're in the right mood, you can actually invoke that particular personality. and you can imbibe those qualities. And also because the actors, they live by those kind of spiritual kind of standards which the plays are about. I remember once we went to see the Ramayana, and we were all excited to see how people kind of produce the Ramayana. So the play was quite good. And then afterwards, they were invited us to come and see the actor. So we went to go and see the actor Ram. But in the distance, we could see him smoking cigarette. And then we said, no, we don't want to see him. We'll just go have some ice cream instead. So then there's a certain purity when you live that lifestyle, then that comes out. So it might not be like Shakespeare. It might not have the kind of training of a professional kind of an actor. But because that strong sincerity is there, then it comes out in the performance. And there was this one Western person, and we were doing the Ramayana. He said, I'm not sure what this is all about, but I've never been emotionally so charged. It's the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life.
I've seen people crying when we're doing drama, and people just, because, you can make, we know the story, we know the pastime, and then you are kind of reviving, you're living within that story, and the feeling of the Hanuman, or the feeling of Ram and Sita and Lakshman, this is so beautiful, it's amazing. And even the other day, I want to share with you, one person purchased a Srimad Bhagavatam, and when I start to look inside, I said, who are these artists who painted all this thing? Prabhupada said these are the window to the spiritual world. And I was explaining to him, these artists, they're not famous artists. They were just young kids who Prabhupada instructed how to do these paintings, But they're so beautiful. Because they put their heart. Maybe they were not Picasso or Raffaello or Michelangelo, but, this picture, that's so beautiful. Very impressive. So similarly, with any form of art, whether it's music or drama or painting or anything, we do for the pleasure of the Lord. Our motivation is to please Krishna and please the Vaishnava. So that changed the whole ball game.
Prabhupada said that purity is the force. So if the actors are pure, then they'll come out in a pretty amazing way.
Yes. So what was the most difficult, let me say some question, what was the most difficult act you had to perform, and which was very, unthinkable or difficult to do within your career of?
There's a couple of kind of things that comes to my mind. One of the ones we did, Tamar Krishna Maharaj did this Jagannath Priyanatikam.
Yes.
But then we adapted that, and I was playing in King Indradumna, and there was like pages and pages of lines.
You have to remember.
So many. And we did it actually here in Sridham Mayapur.
I remember, I saw it.
Yeah.
I fall off my chair, actually. I was falling asleep off my chair because it was really long, at 3 hours.
Ours one was 1.5 hours. I condensed it to 1.5 hours. So that was quite tough and challenging. But my most intimate, the one that I kind of really kind of touched my heart was Vivamangal Thakur. So we did that drama, and then Lohitaksha Prabhu, and I think Sankirtan Das, he wrote the script from New Vrindavan. And we took that script and we've done it, and then we've had people really crying, and oh God.
Very emotional.
Even me, I just like crying. And another one we did was the passing away of Haridas Thakur.
That's a beautiful.
And we have this really nice intimate theater at Bhaktivedanta Manor. Many devotees don't have that privilege in the West, so we have about a theater with seats about 80 to 90 people. And if you do a drama in there, you can really...
That's very personal.
Yeah. And we did this passing away of Haridas Thakur. And the devotees were really stunned. It's a bit like that time when Prabhupada was playing Advaita Charya, and then afterwards there was silence. There was just like silence, and Prabhupada was saying that maybe they didn't like the play, but then when they turned the lights on, they could see people were crying and wet eyes. So it was a bit like that experience.
Tell us some of the happiest moments in Krishna consciousness for you.
Book distribution, obviously, is one of the most highlights. By the blessings of Krishna, We managed to make some nice devotees when we were preaching, and they become good devotees. One person we kind of gave his first book and preached to, Gadada. He was head puchari for 30 years. The other one of the highlights was we were preaching in China for about 1 year, and then just meeting the people over there, just soaking in this Prabhupada's books, and just like, wanting something more than what's already over there. And then they have this thing called English Corner. We used to kind of go there and preach to people, rather talk to people, rather just chat with them. So in an English Corner, the idea is that the Chinese students would go there and try and converse.
Speak and learn English language.
Yeah. So when they know someone is proficient with English, then they kind of stick to you. So then they ask the usual question, who are you? Where do you come from? What is your profession? And after that, and then we tell them we'd study metaphysics. And then they say, what's metaphysics? And you go a little bit deeper. And that's the science of difference between the soul and the matter. And those who are interested, they stay. Those who are not, then they wither away. And then we got some core kind of people staying. And then by the time we left there, we managed to make 5 devotees.
That's nice.
In 1 year. And one of the person we made, he actually translated one of Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita into the Chinese language. So that's one of the ones I always enjoyed, that my tiny, tiny little bit of endeavor help someone become a devotee and help translate the Chinese Bhagavad Gita.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's some of the highlights. And of course, when you're doing the dramas, I remember we did one drama, and we did it in front of about 50,000 people.
Wow. Which place?
They had like a Kumbh Mela kind of a thing in England.
Oh, in England.
Yeah.
With the naked sadhu also in England?
No, they weren't allowed. So we did the play of Birth of Lord Krishna. And of course, there was Kumbh Mela, so there was loads of Mayavadis over there. But when they saw Krishna and Balaram come in the arena,
beautiful.
They were smiling.
With Chanurama stick.
Yeah. And that's the part you played.
Yes,
I remember.
I did. Me and Bhagavatamrita Prabhu, Chanurama stick.
And there was like, after the play, there was about 40,000 people all clapping and things like that. We also did it in the Gandhi Stadium in Delhi for the 96th centennial in front of about 15,000 people. We did a Ramayana.
That was big.
That was very, very nice. So there's different kind of nice instances. Another one was we did the Birth of Lord Krishna, the same one, and one kind of a guest came and he talked to me afterwards. He said, I don't know what that's all about, but I'm staying here. And he became a devotee. He just was so impressed with the whole play. So Tribhuvannath was told by Prabhupada that when you do dramas, just do Krishna Leela. Then he says, should we do something contemporary or something? So Prabhupada, Krishna Leela. And then he was wondering, but the idea is that actually when you do Krishna Leela, even though people are not aware of it, because the soul...
It's part of Krishna.
Yeah, and because that's what Krishna enacts, comes over here to do these Leelas to try and attract us. So then there's some kind of, even though they've never seen it, people get really, really moved by it.
I think it leaves an impression in their heart. It's like something happening which is unknown to them and unknown to us, unknown to anybody, but there's some kind of magic happen, we can say, because people get transformed just by hearing Lord Krishna's pastimes. And then...
So this devotee Tribhuvannath, he would do like festivals with 800,000 people. Then afterwards they would survey. Then they would find out what worked, what didn't work. So 3 things always came the top. Number 1 was prasadam. Everyone loved it. Number 2 was the kirtans, especially the end kirtans. They were really vibrant. Tribhuvannath, that's incredible energy about him. And the 3rd thing they would take was the drama. So these 3 things would always come out in the top from whatever was on the stage program.
Very attractive.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, tell us a bit about the challenges of the future now. You have been in Mayapur for many years. You see a lot of changes. The big cities coming up. Today, while bringing you here, I was telling you, hey, you should come and spend more time here. Come and spend 6 months here with us, and maybe we can still do some drama. There are many devotees here who are very amazing to want to learn. You can run a school, learn how to play drama with children with. Could be a nice program, but tell us what's your future. How do you see yourself in 10 years or in 5 years doing this Krishna Consciousness wonderful programs, and how you see the challenges, how you see the things which are going to unfold for you in your service?
The challenge is I think, which is there in ISKCON, is the legacy of passing the baton or giving it to the next generation.
Of course.
So somehow or another, incredibly, some of the devotees who came in the 70s and the 80s and even the 90s, they somehow or another stuck through the thick and thin, whatever different ups and downs of ISKCON. So those devotees stuck to their kind of services. So somehow or another, even through our ups and downs, me and Dwoka Puri just been
Steady.
30,
40
steady.
years.
So it's hard to find, even like in a Kami job. When before people worked in the 70s,
They stick for the company for
50
30 years.
you get a gold handshake, you get a gold watch or something. But nowadays,
People
changing
change.
constantly.
Jumping.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the big challenges, is to try and find someone in any fields within ISKCON to just like stick to it. And the thing with the drama thing, because with the challenges ISKCON faces with so many things, drama, cultural things are there right at the rock bottom, you see. So we're very fortunate. Bhakti Chiru Maharaj, he was very, very much into these things, and he kind of tried to promote that. And but overall, I mean, everybody likes seeing a drama, everybody likes having a laugh, everybody likes to be entertained. Literally everybody likes to be entertained, I mean, entertainment business is a multi-billion industry, So we all love to be entertained, but the problem is no one wants to put the energy into trying to make, and all my troopers are all volunteers.
Right.
And so they all just do it out of the devotional service or because they enjoy doing the drama, but not even when we come to my chapel, anywhere. They pay for our tickets, accommodation, and that's why we don't get paid. So at the moment, there's no real kind of way that we can sustain actors so they can carry on. It's just done more on a voluntarily basis. And when that's a bit flaky, isn't it?
Because keep on changing people.
I can't make it, or this or that. So
I think you have to build up some kind of forum by which you can. You see, in ancient time, I believe that the king used to sponsor all the arts.
Yeah.
Even I remember at the time of Bhagavan Maharaj, he was the sponsor of all the artists and music. So there was a revival in Italy, for example, for all the arts. And what happened is that whenever there is no king, or there is no leader, or there is nobody who's supporting you, then it becomes difficult for you to perform in art at the same time, maintain yourself and your family and kids and moving around. So it becomes almost an impossible situation, because how can you possibly spend hours training yourself at the same time have a job, at the same time care for the kids, send them to school, this, that, so many things. So, but I think in Mayapur would be more appropriate, if I'm not wrong, to build up something like this, because it's a big city growing up, and we have a lot of people who are staying here, more than 7,000 devotees, 7,500 devotees, which are 50-50 Indian, 50-50 foreigners. So you will get a spectrum of maybe it would be nice to start a school and you come and spend 6 months here, and when you start to train the children and the people who are interested in becoming a professional, because you can train people. You have been a professional artist for more than 40 years, so you can definitely give some tips and some advice. I know, and that would be nice.
I mean, that's definitely would be very, very nice. But I have to be realistic. I think my kind of commitment or my kind of anchor is at the manor because of my, responsibilities. But, on the positive side, I'm working what we call with the Bhaktivedanta Junior Players. So we have about 10 kids from the age of about 9 till about 14. So we do dramas with them. So they do a Janmashtami Nashingare festival. So then hopefully, as they grow up and
They remain involved.
they'll grow up into that and they like it, and then they'll carry on the baton.
That's nice. Of course, we have Bhatti Mark Swami who comes every year, put up a drama for the festival.
Yeah.
He brings his own props and stuff.
Yeah.
He catches somebody from here and there, make them act, and it works out always.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's different style, but nice. But I believe that the drama is a performance to communicate with people and people that are really interested in seeing this. And I see a scope in Mayapur, we could have every week a drama because there is tons of people. And if we say under the Samadhi, we have a beautiful auditorium which can accommodate maybe 300-400 people. And if we say we have a drama from this time to this time, people will love to see it. So just consider it for the future.
Definitely. If Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda wills it, then let's see.
Why not? The Lord will satisfy everybody's desire.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so then how you saw the changes in Mayapur from whenever you came first? You came in 1980?
1980.
80, okay. From 1980 to now, today, tell us what you saw these things exploding. It was not in 1980. There was only rice field everywhere, to the building, few devotees.
Of course, there's a personal one feeling, and then there's obviously the external, internal, and external
Tell us
feelings.
your personal one.
So the personal, obviously, we went to see the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. We went to the top, and you could see one side was all rice fields,
Yes.
and one side you could see all construction. But we know that Srila Prabhupada wanted a nice city, to house 50,000 people. So inevitably, it was not just meant to grow rice. It was meant to kind of, attract people to the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So although we miss that intimate, although we miss the rice fields, although we miss those kind of moments, I think sometimes we have to see the greater picture of trying to help spread this Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
Prabhupada himself said that, I'll be happy just to chant Hare Krishna under a tree, but who's going to come and listen to me? But if you have a nice temple, then even I think you have this cruise. One of my friend's neighbor, he went on this Ganga cruise actually, and then as they were going by, and they saw this, can we stop there? Because there's not meant to be a stop here.
Yeah.
But they stopped here, and they said, they had a really fantastic experience.
Of course.
So there are, nice positive development going on. There's definitely many wonderful devotees. There's, the temple, I went there and saw it, I got a little bit of a VIP treatment because I went to places that others aren't allowed by Narayan's grace. It's absolutely breathtaking. And I think when it all finally opens, it's going to attract so many more people, more devotees over here. And there can be a nice model, how to have cottage industries, how to kind of live in peace and harmony and live your life in a simple living and high thinking.
Nice. That's wonderful. So you're going to go back to England in a couple of weeks?
That's right. Couple of weeks I'm going to go back. Gopunim is coming, so I've got my drama service. So we're doing the pastime of Nimai's parents. And from there it's going to go to the thieves, the two thieves that is stealing Nimai. Then from there it's going to go into Nimai and Kashmir Pandit. And then the final scene we're doing is when Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya meet for the first time.
Wow.
And it's going to finish with a grand explosive kirtan.
How long is the kirtan? How long is
The play is about 45 minutes.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So we try not to make it too long. Because before people could sit an hour and a half. But even now, so now even we've decided play should be half an hour to 50 minutes maximum now to get the best.
Attention,
So after that, the mind is,
the phone or this and that.
Yeah. The phone is such a big distraction nowadays, such a huge distraction.
So
then after that, then we'll get ready for Nrsimha Day drama, and then the temple is organizing many festivals, so we'll be doing drama. So I wrote a play. Everyone knows the famous film Matrix.
Yeah, of course, Matrix 1, 2, 3. How many? Yeah.
So I wrote a drama called Mayapur.
Nice.
So then Mayapur is, so basically the concept is there's the illusory world and then there's the real world, which is the spiritual world. So then you have the same kind of scenario. Then the
red pills and the blue pills.
Yeah, so then we have the situation. Anyway, I'll come to that part. So we have the situation, this guy's working in this kind of booth like Neo is, and then he's getting pressure from that pressure. And then Morpheus, which we say is a Paramatma or a devotee, comes to him. And the boss in one side is asking him, you have to do this, get a promotion, deadlines, this and that. And he's getting pressure from his girlfriend. She wants commitment to get married and this and that. And then he's all kind of depressed and he's in the park. Then he gets a hamburger. Then Morpheus, who's a Paramatma devotee, comes and sees him and says, look, eat this samosa. It's much more nicer and healthier. So it's like the red pill or the blue pill, so, hamburger or the samosa. So he eats a samosa and it blows his mind, Then, then in that way, so that play we're going to be doing in
It's gonna be nice play. You're gonna dress them like Morpheus and all
I played Morpheus.
Oh wow, that's amazing. See, that's the creativity. We can do a lot of things. We can do a lot of, we can say, inspirational for people to reconsider their life, what they're doing, and what are the value base of their life, and why the value everything of what the scientists say, or what the materialist people say.
Especially society at the moment is like kind of in some kind of a difficult situation with all the COVID, with all the kind of craziness that's going around with the wars and the prices and the inflation, and people are just very, very confused about life, So this person, Neo, is like in that same situation, very, very confused. So the Paramatma, the devotee, comes and gives him an alternative way of thinking. You have to think outside the box.
Nice. That's a nice play.
Then I did another play. It was called Time Loop. So everybody likes this kind of plays.
Yeah, you go around and around. You keep on the same
like
place.
Groundhog Day. So then every day you wake up is the same day. So then I wrote this play, Time Loop. So then he meets about 4 different people. He meets someone on the train, then he meets someone there, then he meets a devotee, then he meets his boss, and he has all different interaction with them. And then when he's going back, then he has a train crash, and then he dies. Then he wakes up the same morning. Then he goes through the same whole procedure, meeting the same people. So first one he's confused, and second one is like, obviously with the devotee, he gets a book about reincarnation, karma. So then at the end, when the train crashes, then you have an out-of-body experience. And then he realizes actually there's a different, Then we have a nice kind of a flute, and Krishna is there waiting, giving him direction to come this way,
It's amazing. So beautiful. Must be nice.
Yeah. We did it for some Western people, and they really, really enjoyed it. Time Loop.
Naturally. So which other way we can inspire people in the drama format, or which way maybe you should keep on writing more of this?
Yeah, I think if we can somehow or another inspire the youth, because the youth, isn't it, they're going to be the next kind of foundation, the next kind of generation. I'm not sure who, Socrates or whoever he may be, one of those guys from Greek, said that if the society doesn't invest in the children or the youth, then we have a society that's going to be dysfunctional.
Absolutely, yes.
So I would say it's the young kids, if you can somehow or another, because that's why I was only like 10, 12 when I did my first drama, and as I say, I was hooked on it. So when you give them that kind of chance, and some might kind of go or just do it for fun, or it was nice, but some will stay on, and then they'll see the transformation of the people, the audience, the impact it has on the, preaching. And then they'll want to do it more and more and try and involve others.
And also the purification, but just by doing it, because you know the story, and it's something which you experience, and something you can never forget. I think.
And then also, as a person in the plate, then actually it's an amazing benefit that you can always think of, because, you have to study the scriptures, make sure it's all right, writing the script, and then going to the whole motion, then acting and trying to understand the person's character. And then, you actually get quite absorbed in the smaranam, the leelas and things like that. Sometimes when I give a class, the devotee says, "Oh, you gave a very, very good class." It's only because I know all the different stories from the drama.
Naturally. I think with something which remain with people is the emotions.
Yeah.
It's not much about the philosophy. And of course, this emotion brings some value to their life as well, because people start to think, what am I doing? How can I change? How can I improve? Which way I did something wrong? How can I, always become a better person, the better of myself? So because this is a value-based kind of teaching Krishna gives us in the Bhagavad Gita, and the Bhagavatam, and the Ramayana. In ancient time, people didn't have television or Netflix or mobile phones, so they sit in the village in the night and they do bhajan. There is one of them speak about the Ramayana story. So interesting that next day you say, okay, tomorrow night again, So this was the entertainment.
That's right. And then bhakti literally translates as emotions, isn't it? Because that's what all the devotees, they have emotions. Because by jnana, not by dhyana, all those different kind of ways. So my own personal experience coming to Krishna Consciousness was based on emotions. It wasn't philosophy, it wasn't this. It was the emotion the devotees gave me.
And that's very powerful, Especially when you see the mercy of the devotee taking nice care of you and going out of their way to accommodate you and to take care, to see that you are, nicely, fed, nicely accommodated, nice.
It's actually such a personal touch that actually goes a long way. It really does go a long way.
I think it leaves something in your heart which you like to share with others.
Yeah. I think Indraduna Maharaj had that experience when Vishnu Jan Swami went to his house, and that left an emotional kind of a craving for some more. Then he became a devotee.
I think this is the secret of success. Is now we're not going to conquer the society by just philosophy. We can distribute a lot of books, but if people they come in contact with devotee and they can see that these people they're different.
Yeah.
There's something which we don't have. They're not willing to compromise. They're not willing to. Not that we are very strict or anything, but just because they're very personal and they're very approachable, and they start to see that. These people, they don't see me as my dress. They see me as a spirit soul, as an eternal servant of Krishna. And then it's different relationships, different ball game altogether. So people can feel something different, which everybody's looking for. Definitely. Everybody's looking for love.
Yeah.
And this bhakti is nothing but changing lust into love. Krishna prema. So where is the love, So is my girlfriend love me? Is my wife love me? Is my boyfriend love me? Is my father love me? Or is it just a compromise? So people start to think.
There's always some condition, isn't it? There's always something you want in return, So that's the way the material world is kind of based on. But if you have that unalloyed, pure intention of helping that person and care for them, they'll feel that.
I think that's the success of our life, is that we can, actually share the love which we receive.
Yeah.
Like you receive love from the devotee, you want to share that with others. And people say, "Oh, why are you so nice with me?" No, that's the way I was treated. That's the way I treat you.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing. So, any other thing you like to share with us today?
Obviously, as far as Krishna consciousness is concerned, it's not always easy to be positive. It's not always easy. Once one devotee asked me, you've been through all the different decades of ISKCON. how come you're still here? How come you didn't go with the, Ganga down to the, Bay of Bengal? And I think the whole thing is you just got to have that shraddha, that faith, and just, just stay, come rain, sunshine, wind, whatever it is, ups and downs. I always love this Bhaktisiddhanta's quote, his final kind of instructions. Difficulties will be always there. Differences will always be there. But if you're sincere to kind of serve Rupa and Raghunath, then all those things will seem nothing.
Insignificant.
Yeah.
I think every day we make a choice from the moment we wake up in the morning and we say, I want to be Krishna Consciousness. I want to be happy.
Yeah.
I want to remember all the good things that people did for me, and I want to do the same thing for others. And therefore, I am willing to share the love which Krishna gives to us. And only Krishna can give us that love in our heart, and also why not sharing with other people? And it doesn't matter, the whole world goes up and down, the war, this, that, financial problem, this devotee left, that guy ran away, whatever it is, but hey.
It's that word in the nectar of devotion, utsahan.
Utsaha. Yeah, so you want to be enthusiastic, and you can keep that enthusiasm if you chant nice round in the morning. If you have faith, Shraddha, as you say, in the scriptures, and you have good association, take Shraddha, that's it. Is a success story.
Yeah. And Prabhupada said that to Parada. If you just carry on, then one day when you're distributing books, when you look, you'll actually see Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, face to face.
Amazing. Also, somebody was telling for the demigods when they see us, we are part of Lord Chaitanya's movement.
Yeah.
Because before Lord Chaitanya came, some people came to assist him. Then when Lord Chaitanya comes, there are so many other devotees come. And after Lord Chaitanya leaves, there are many other come, and Prabhupada comes and reestablish the Sampradaya and Bhakti. So we are part of that. Prabhupada Anuga, we are part of Lord Chaitanya's movement. We are the soldier of Lord Chaitanya, and our mission is to preach Krishna consciousness in whatever possible way. But unless we are inspired ourselves, how can we inspire others? So
one devotee interestingly wrote that when you look at the Bhagavatam, the 12 cantos, because it's all kind of chronological, kind of different pastimes and things like that, and in the future, because we are now living that experience of Lord Chaitanya's expansion, the future generation you were talking about, one day they'll write a 13th or 14th canto about us spreading Lord Chaitanya's mission,
Your name will be written in the next Chaitanya Charitamrita.
I don't know about mine, but, because, this is actually transcendental. We were just reading about that, although it might seem mundane, but actually is, done for the benefit of pleasure of Krishna and the devotees and become spiritualized.
Absolutely. And Krishna loves us more than what we love him.
Yeah.
So then definitely the mercy is very tangible. And okay, I'd like to thank you very much, Jaya Krsna Prabhu, for spending some time with us today. And please invite all your friends to come and visit Mayapur and spend some time with us. Take bath in the Ganges, take a lot of prasadam, and listen to Radio Mayapur, which is the link to your heart.
Actually, on that last note, since you mentioned the Ganges, one of the interesting things that happened to me about 15 years ago, I was swimming in the Ganges, and I got caught up in a whirlpool.
Oh, Krishna.
And then my gamsha came off and my feet got tangled up and I was being pulled underneath and my kids were there. And then I quickly tried to go upstairs, but the pool was very strong. And I was waving at them and I could see on the faces they were like really shocked. And then they were trying to come to save me. I said, don't come. And the thing pulled me down. It was all happening in such quick few seconds. And then again, I struggled to try and go back up, and I was very attached. I didn't want to die. I remember all that thoughts. And then I could see Prabhupada Samadhi, and I said, I don't want to die. And then I went down, and then I tried to go back up again the third time, but I couldn't go back up. And then I said, Ganga, if you want to take me. Then I put my hands up. And as I put my hands up, I surrendered. Then one hand came inside the Ganga and pulled me up and pushed me onto the boat. So yeah, I mean, I'm not anybody special, but when you do surrender, then somehow or another, I wasn't expecting, that boatman to come, because I was all freaking out in my mind. I'm not a good swimmer, and the whirlpools in Ganga are very, very strong.
Heavy.
So somehow or another, that was a very, very important junction in my life, that when Atman even said, Ganga, if you want to take me. And that's the time the guy came. He took me.
You had some more drama to do, come on.
Yeah.
Not to go so fast. Yeah, everybody has amazing experience in Krishna consciousness. Everybody has some miracle, I'm sure they experience. So, amazing. Anyway, thank you so much
Hare
once
Krishna,
again.
Hare Ganga Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you so much.
Krishna, Jaya Krishna Prabhu. Please do come again and spend more time with us. And we'll do some more drama together.
Hare Bol.
Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.
You're listening to Radio Mayapur with the best devotional, meditation, kirtan music, and inspirational podcast. This is Radio Mayapur.